Hello, everyone. I'd like to start the talk today, this little video, by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet, the lands on which I present this video, and the lands on which you sit and stand as you engage with this video. And I pay my respect to traditional elders, past, present, and emerging. G'day, everyone, and warm welcome and warm greetings from Australia. When I was approached to lead the development of a professional learning program here in South Australia, a program that would pitch itself to educators growing their capabilities for fostering Aboriginal, Indigenous Australian children's reading, I felt I had limited cultural knowledge about this. Not about reading, but about the various and wide-ranging and very rich Aboriginal cultures with whom the program would be engaging across this amazing state of South Australia. So I entered into deep thinking and dialogue with others, and I went in equipped with three things. First, I brought to the program the broadest possible conceptual lens through which we can view reading and view literacies in all their social and cultural guises that they take in young children's lives, and which would enable us to truly recognise and validate and engage meaningfully and productively with young children as capable readers and literate people. And this would be a conceptual lens that would plan and inform, transform our literacy instruction practices that are culturally sustaining and in tune with children. I talked to that a little bit in the chapter. A second thing I brought with me was a positioning of myself as a co-learner. I didn't position myself as an expert know-it-all. I did recognise clearly the expertise on which basis I was asked to develop the program, engage with educators in workshops and engage with our partners, and in particular the State Department for Education here in South Australia, who was leading this whole initiative. But entering into this as a co-learner was something I genuinely felt I had a lot to learn, as well as anybody else gathered here. And so with the educators and partners, we engaged together in a community of practice, a community of learning that we co-constructed. The third thing I brought to this experience was an approach to engagement with educators through dialogic praxis and extended through their own action inquiries, where educators would locate touchstones of particular interest or priority for them in their settings and develop action inquiry projects from those touchstones that they found in the professional learning program, thereby developing their ownership, their sense of relevance. And so together through that dialogic praxis, we reflected and acted and reflected and acted some more. The biggest takeaway message for me from this experience was the difference that this approach that I've just spoken about, and especially the broad approach to how we view reading and literacies, the difference that approach made to what educators now began to notice about children as capable, competent readers that they had not noticed before. It was an awakening for the educators to children's strengths, not their deficits, as readers, as learners, as literate people. And it was an awakening then for me to the power that the conceptual lens we hold has over how we view children as capable learners, capable people in their own right, or not. So that's a very strong take-home message, whether we're talking about how we are conceptualising literacy or reading or some other aspect of children's and students' learning and curriculum. This was also an awakening for the children with whom the educators were working. For these children now began to find themselves in renewed learning environments in consequence of the professional learning that saw and validated and incorporated and built upon children's ways of readings, children's literacy joys and pleasures and strengths, whilst also creating exciting new pathways to reading experiences, opportunities and capabilities. Thank you for reading this chapter. It was as much a joy to write it as it was to experience this project with my co-learners. I hope it brings you joy and some enlightening provocations and empowerment in your own work and in your own writings. For now, I bid you cheerio. Bye-bye.